Are you a coder who gets rejected based on no practical experience or because others have a strong LinkedIn personal brand and you don't? Your coaching institute will hate me for doing this, but I welcome you to Code to Career 30 Days Challenge, where I have chosen these 5 total strangers out of my LinkedIn contacts and have taken up the challenge to help them go from jobless or underpaid to well paid job, that too without additional degrees and certifications in the next 30 days. If you are a coder and wants to get a well paid job, this is your golden chance to experience real project implementation from scratch that gets you a well paid job and builds your LinkedIn personal brand and also resume for absolutely free. So why just watch? Get into our WhatsApp community to experience this. Link is in the description. Now let's get started. So how has been the progress with the code? Ajay, how is your code going on? You need to unmute.
I like your code interface. I didn't got about that one. Like I need to have one board, so that I'm looking for one board. STM32 or ESP.
Remaining things, how are you?
Yeah, I can able to uh, uh, do with JSON and HTTP. Like currently it is hanging, so I logged in with my mobile.
Okay. So once you upload your code, right, do share it on group so that other people also can see your GitHub. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Chaitanya, how is your implementation coming up? Chaitanya, how is your implementation coming up?
Yeah, I am in the same progress. Like I have understood this HTTP protocol and I have to implement it. That's all. Like I am busy with some other work in the weekend. Yeah.
Okay. So after this, we have only 2 sessions, right?
Yeah. Hopefully, like Wednesday, I have more time.
Yeah, Wednesday we are going to talk about one very important concept, and then on the last day we can have presentations. Yeah, great. So Amrut, I think already has done with UART. So how are your middleware and application coming up?
Yeah, I set up the code blocks and I added the UI and stuff. So terminal added the like you showed states or cases. So I set up that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after that middleware, what did?
Oh yeah. So that's what JSON password app.
Uh,
HTTP integration. I had to do that in code blocks. I had to import that. I wrote it as .c files, right, in the subreddit. So those I had to I had to declare them and then add them to the code blocks. JSON password part I added.
Okay. So individually, those files, are they getting compiled?
Yes.
Okay. So now
I
the
am able
integration thing
to.
is pending.
Yes. Till JSON parser I have done integration. I added the JSON parser for .h file and then I'm calling it within the main app dot current app. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. Shubhankar.
Yeah, I've done till the UI part I have done, and JSON part up to the JSON I have done. So I'm facing some issue with I'm debugging that part, JSON part. Except that UI and JSON are done, and HTTP I will integrate tonight. So
what is the issue that you are getting when you are integrating?
yeah, so the thing is like after the like in a specific condition, like I'm not able to hold the data. It gets on in a loop. Like
Okay.
so
How
I
many
am
of you have seen in the JSON folder the JAS? If you want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well-paid job, book a one-on-one call with me. Link is in the description.
In folder simple.c, simple example.c. Did you go through that? So you can take that as a template, because it is just that there you have to change the data. There he has given certain key value pairs, but the example actually contains Jasmine underscore init and Jasmine underscore parse. And you have a macro hash defined JSON underscore string, right? He hard coded and he gave it to the input is given to Jasmine init and Jasmine parse. Now, after that, the attempt was always in the simple.example, simple.c was to print individual key value pairs. There actually you can actually, once the splitting is done, you can use part of the code where the splitting is happening, like temp and 26 or something, right? You will say temp pressure or something. There you can actually start triggering your application. See, imagine thermostat. Somebody from somewhere commanded this on thermostat saying that set the temperature. So the thermostat will get the data, which will be now in the JSON format. So your JSON is coming. How it has traveled, we are as of now not worrying. We will only worry when the thermostat has to respond back. But initially from somewhere, somebody has commanded saying that set this temperature, and that data reached thermostat. Now the thermostat took that JSON data, pulled out all the things, then it went and it does all the work that it has to do by setting it out and all those things. The expectation of the sender is also in HTTP format, also in JSON format, which means the payload that the HTTP is going to carry will be in the JSON format. So the thermostat will create a response message, because somebody has sent, right, as a request or as a command. So the thermostat has to send a response. So you send a response now. For that, you create your HTTP packet, everything here. What we did in this project, so that in the possible way that we can do within this short span of time, instead of actually integrating an Ethernet cable and all the TCP IP stack and all those stuff, application layer protocol we did, because HTTP as a protocol can be studied and it's very useful. But you used UART and you have sent it outside. Is the scenario clear? So in both the cases, either you create JSON packet or you parse. Either you send or you receive. Either you create HTTP response message or command message. Both implementations will be there at the both sides. And when I say application, see here it could be that send temperature, but here it could be set the temperature. Here I am saying send underscore temp, but the moment I get it, set underscore temp. And do not confuse with the command. You're getting my point? The state mission here could be send. In the send thing, I will say, okay, I'm sending, so you go and set this temp. On the reverse side, because it is always set, you can also have a state mission which is having that set temperature. But inside that, you know that, okay, this is the value that I have to set. Names apart, ultimately they boil down to numbers. If I'm sending 1 year, the command one is whatever is the value that is going set in some location. And that location would be something which is designated for temperature. Is this picture clear at least? Like when you are implementing, you should know like where are all the messages coming in? What do I mean by that? How they are going? At what place? What should I do? Clear? So the main application that I have written is with the expectation that the thermostat, which is the end device, which actually controls, is being controlled. Controls in the sense it controls temperature, but somewhere somebody has to control it, right? So I took the stand when I am actually implementing the position of thermostat. Having said that, the code which was written that creates a JSON data, that parses a JSON data, the state mission application, the application written as a state mission, the design pattern, and also the HTTP code, which contains both a command message as well as a response message, the UART driver, everything is.
If you want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well paid job, book a one-on-one call with me. Link is in the description.
Valid. How many of you understand this? Any questions here? Chaitanya, any questions? Amrut? Yeah, if your bandwidth allows, please be on camera so that I know that.
I had one question.
Yeah, go ahead.
In the middleware, you initialize the HTTP server, right? I'm just trying to understand one part of it because I independently created two HTTP client and server initialized. This client sent a string and then you send the HTTP response packet for it.
Yes.
So when JSON packet is created, you initialize the server at that point of time after you create the JSON packet in the, or you initialize it will always.
That's a choice. That's a choice that the user can. See, you can always, typically people create a server and keep it running.
Okay.
They go ahead with establishing and tearing down connections. But server as such, they keep it running. Maybe your point is also very much valid, like, because if at all it is an embedded device, then why should I keep a server running?
Right.
So typically, if you go and take an example in any RTOS, I have been with free RTOS for quite a good amount of time. So in free RTOS, there are some demo applications. So what they typically do is the HTTP protocol is implemented, but this HTTP code becomes a task. Now the advantage is, see, either it is a server or something, it's end of the day, it's a code only, right? It's just that you are in a while one loop. And the task is actually in a while one loop only, right? Always. So what happens is this HTTP server task, so-called, I can actually swap it. I can put it in a waiting mode or something. It will be in the running mode, waiting mode. The different task states, remember? It can be in the running, waiting for something, or suspended, or you can even delete it.
Okay.
See, creating and deleting tasks is a heavy work.
Right.
And moreover, when the task is done, there are queues that are created, definitely because you want one task to talk with another task and you use a queue, right?
Right.
So if you are a sender, then the one end of the queue is completely going out of scope.
Okay.
So we don't even delete the task. Yes, we can use vtask delete, and a task can also delete itself.
Right.
So those all mechanisms are there. It's not that, but very rarely I have seen people using delete.
Okay.
But still you can do what you feel is the good design. But generally, why create?
If you want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well paid job, book a one-on-one call with me. Link is in the description.
A server and why delete it? Keep the connections active or remove the connections. Now, when you remove the connection, what is the thing that is happening? You will close the socket, max.
Yes.
And all the memory will be released. See, if you see, the server code as such, when it is running, it takes its space, but the more amount of space is happening because the data coming in, the memory for the socket, and also the TCP IP. In fact, TCP IP also can be one more task. So
Like,
your server implementation
your
can be one task, and you
your-
say protocol, take this and send it. HTTP can be a task. HTTP protocol itself can be a task, which is actually the HTTP server. That's what
Right.
I'm saying. Sorry, I confused both. The HTTP server itself can be a task where it talks with the TCP code, the protocol stack, which itself is another task.
Okay. I'm not exactly able to visualize in terms of task because I have not actually worked on any RTOS specific onboard. But in this case, like when I create the simple socket program, that time I'm just binding the port to the creating the socket. That is one time, and then while loop, I'm just keeping the accepting whatever you server has to accept. Only that will be in while loop. That is what I've done. So when I run this, that socket port is pointed already. That is once done, but it will keep listening for that data if anything is there, right? So
Yes.
once I run it anyway, port will be bound, so that I can initialize for one time. Or like you said, is there any point in separating that?
No, see,
I'm thinking.
this is where I told, right? As long as you are there in the Linux domain and you are talking about the socket and all those things, you will be in this zone only. What
Okay.
I'm saying is, why think like there is a socket?
Okay.
Create, which is a JSON string.
Okay.
It is being embedded into another string, and
Okay.
you are sending it through UART. Just simply visualize that.
Okay. Okay.
One string getting embedded into another string and being sent out. Now, what
Right.
is happening is these are all the high level constructs and the programming. I mean, it's a concept actually, which is realized in code that there is a server, there is a socket, and all those things. Socket, at the end of the day, is one of the IPC mechanism that allows processes which are distributed to communicate with each other.
Right.
So you can replace the task terminology with even process also.
Okay. I will read up on that. Yeah. Thanks.
So if you come out of this OS specific implementation that you have done with respect to sockets and all those things, and treat it as a pure bare metal stuff, right? You will understand how easy it is actually to do it.
Okay.
This is like mock-up code. You can see the initial code that I have given. What is there in that? Nothing. Hard-coded string, put another string. SN printf. That's it, right? I did nothing is there in that.
Yeah.
Ultimately, that what happens. It's just that, but there are many decisions to be taken and many things have to be handled at higher level layer.
But it's just that you do have to separate, right? Like to server and client. So how?
Yeah, that's where I told, right? In this case, you are just sending the strings. That is where I told. Now I will show you the code which is from the sensor perspective.
Okay.
Thermostat perspective.
Okay.
Now thermostat gets a command from somewhere. From where it is getting, do not worry. It has got a command asking it to set a temperature.
Right.
It will go ahead and set the temperature. Now it has to respond back saying that I am done.
Right.
So it has to send, no, because this is a HTTP packet, you have to send 200 OK.
Just one small thing here. Small confusion. So client, server, HTTP server, and then there is.
If you want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well paid job, book a one-on-one call with me. Link is in the description.
Thermostat.
No.
So thermostat also is the server.
Thermostat also can act as server. That's what
Yeah, that. Okay.
Thermostat can also act as server. The other server also can act as server. But
Yeah.
we will all, it depends on, but thermostat never commands anything, right? See,
Correct.
thermostat has information,
No,
but
has.
somebody is interested to get the information. The server will
Exactly.
say, hey, client, give me that information. So it is not necessary like the thermostat always should request that I want to bind to this socket.
Okay. So I'm just simplifying. So are there two servers now? Like because thermostat also has to keep listening and then give a response, right?
Yeah, it will create a socket. If you go to the socket thing, it will create a socket.
Okay.
But there is an interrupt that happens, right? Because of which something gets woken up, and then through socket it will understand that.
Okay. Yeah. Got it. Okay. I just wanted this idea. The HTTP stays in between. There's one more. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Aditya. So where are you with respect to the implementation?
So I have, sir, I have understand. I have first 2 days I was understanding the JSON parser code and HTTP, understanding the HTTP protocols. From my knowledge, I have implemented the HTTP client code. So I have done that much only till now.
So if you designate someone as purely a client, then you can actually go and put the client code there, whose work is always that somebody will be asking me and I will be keep on sending responses.
Yes.
Somebody will be always instructing me saying that, okay. So you have done this part.
Yes, sir.
So the code is there and you have already pushed into the GitHub.
No, sir, I have not put in the GitHub. There are some errors regarding to the libraries.
See, the reason why I'm asking you to put it in GitHub is, it is not that you cannot push again. You solve the bug, you solve the issue, and again you do a git push, right?
Okay.
See, Git at the end of the day is a software configuration management tool.
Yeah.
It is not that you completely do something and push it in GitHub.
Yeah.
You put the first version, then you put a comment saying that the first, you can actually put the empty file saying that out of my analysis, these are all the files that I have figured out. Then you start pushing the code. Then you say that this is the error. So what will happen tomorrow when every day you will have a green dot on the GitHub because you are pushing something? If I see a track, I see that you are regularly interacting with code and also pushing it. I mean, doing some development and pushing it. So I will see a green dot. I go and see, then I will see a log of what was the issue, what did you implement. I can see a diff of what are the changes you have done. Tomorrow when something does not work, let us say till some point of time, you implemented everything to certain feature or certain level of requirement, things are working fine. That day you got few more hours that you can spend and you went ahead and you did some changes because of which the previously working thing also broke. How will you restore? You're getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Take another copy from GitHub.
Okay. Understand, sir.
So I strongly suggest that go and read about GitHub and how to use GitHub for your development. Then you will see that the progression is slowly happening. I know where this is coming from because initially when I said write the code and push it in GitHub, and those are all small programs that you write and you see the things happening, you got the output, then you are pushing it.
Yeah.
But real development, see, that was only to make people aware of the fact that, or make them comfortable with the fact and the process of putting something into a software configuration management. But when we are doing a proper development, it should mimic the actual process that happens in a company, right? Otherwise, what is the purpose? How many people, how many of you get this?
Understand.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
So you should mimic that process.
Yes, I understand. I got the idea about it.
Yeah, whichever is the state of your code, push it into the GitHub and start behaving as if, or tell to yourself that, okay, I'm working in a company and this is the project and these are the day-to-day changes I'm doing. Then this is the bug. You definitely have that bug because you have a local copy on which you are compiling and all those things. So do that. How many of you
Okay.
have actually gone through this process? Amrut would have gone through this, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yes.
I prepare.
Yeah. In Ajay?
In training, I didn't went with this course, this GitHub things. Like I got to know in internship, I need to go with this process only. Like if daily we need to push into GitHub. After that, next day, we need to come with the solution, or like if anything solution we find, we need to push again,
Okay.
like that. Yeah.
So there is one way wherein you can always keep the code in GitHub always compilable. If you know that, okay, there are certain issues and something is not working in my code, you typically, when you compile, you know that this is the error, these are the errors, and you know that. So comment out that code or put some macro and make it 0, so that if def compilation error. So hash defined compilation error is equal to 0.
If you want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well paid job, book a one-on-one call with me. Link is in the description.
So if that is defined as 0, then every code will be away from the compilation, right?
Yeah. Correct.
Preprocessor will ensure that that is always removed from the compilation. So tomorrow when somebody checks out your code, let us say mid of your development, still they have a code which might not be working, definitely is not working, but at least compilable. It's
Yeah.
getting compiled, not an issue. So you can maintain that also.
Yeah, sir.
So in this project, it is actually possible, because the implementation we are trying to do in a very minimalist manner. We are not going overboard with many big things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sir. Understand. I will upload it.
Go ahead and push the code, each one of you, whatever you have,
Yes.
and incrementally start doing it. So you will get a feel also that, okay, I'm really doing some kind of, if you keep on developing something, looking at the screen and banging your head on the screen, things won't work like that. Yeah.
I understand, sir.
Okay. Yeah, Raghavendra.
Sir, I have understood JSON format, like how HTTP packet works, but I have started the implementation of code, but I'm not purely started I have not completed the code. Have to implement. I want time to implement the code.
Okay. Anirudh, can you speak? Is it possible for you to unmute and speak?
Yes, sir. No.
Yeah. You are audible, please.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So till what extent were you able to write the code?
Sir, actually, I have not started it, sir. Just push that JSON parser code and read about that one.
Okay. So what is it you have done with the JSON parser code?
I didn't do anything like I put into this one, sir. GitHub. Just I want to like whether it is working in Visual Studio, like Windows operating or not.
Okay.
Yesterday I didn't have time to see that one, sir. Today, if possible, after 10:30, I will try to do.
Okay, fine. Yeah. So let me share my screen.
If you want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well paid job, book a one-on-one call with me. Link is in the description.
So this is the simulated data. I am assuming that I have already got an HTTP packet. My smart thermostat received an HTTP packet already, but I don't know how it received it, who removed all the HTTP layers. But finally, I am in the sense the thermostat main application got this completed packet or the actual payload, which is saying that this is the command and this is the value. Clear? This is very important. This is the main thing. If you understand this, rest all the code will make sense. So thermostat received the data, which means everything which is a HTTP packet, how it has come, we are not at all worrying. I am looking from the eyes of thermostat application, which has no work other than taking the data and acting as per that. Before my application can kick in, there are many things that will happen which will remove all the HTTP layer. It could be even TCP IP protocol also, right? Complete network setup might be there. I would have got it from Ethernet. I would have got it from Wi-Fi. I don't care. But for my application, this is the data. So when my application starts, I have my hardware initialized. Initialize UART for communication. I commented it because I looked at the data sheet. Actually, in fact, I Googled for the STM32 discovery board, one of the discovery board. So it had some base address and all those things. I hard-coded here, but an address is an address, right? If I do this pointer operation, it goes somewhere into my physical memory, my laptop's, my computer's memory. You understand what I'm trying to say? It's at the end of the day, hexadecimal value. I try to do indirection operator using that address. It will go somewhere out of my process and it will crash. So I did not do that. So I just commented out this code. But see, so after I received, so this is the received data because I have hard coded. Otherwise, this received data buffer would have already got the data. Imagine like that. So I printed it. That is fine. Then I created a JSON object. Why? That is where I need to understand that which is the command and which is the value, right? Clear? I have to parse this data. Clear? That's why I created a JSON object. Then I have set this command. And to this. Now, this is what is the actual application. This is the state mission that I am maintaining inside my thermostat for handling various commands. Are you able to understand this?
Yes.
So once I am done with this, process the command and all those things.
Can you repeat this part once?
Sorry?
Can you repeat this part, like what you are doing here, like in command equal to set them?
Yeah, which is that part that you have not understood?
Yeah, so state handlers, you are passing a pointer here, like to
Which
command.
pointer here?
State handlers of command.
State
27.
handlers.
27
Yeah.
line.
This is what I told. The array of function pointers I am maintaining so that I have my internal state mission, right?
Okay.
Yeah, this is that. These are, see, how do you read this? State handlers is an array of pointers to a function because of this brace that accept JSON as parameter. JSON in the sense JSON object, a pointer to JSON object as parameter. Now, how do I know that? See, and definitely, obviously, not returning anything. So now see, idle state is a function which accepts JSON object or a pointer to JSON object as parameter and not returning anything. This is clear? Now, when I have to add this into an array, I can have an array of functions. But here I am having array of function pointers. Clear?
Yeah, got it, got it.
That is it. Where are we in the main function? So once I am done with it. So I am sending the response. So this is where I am fabricating the response for the receiver. Sorry, for the sender. Sender has already sent, hey, thermostat, go and set your temperature to so and so value. I did that. And I will do it in state handlers command set temperature. So if I go here, state mission.c, there is this set temperature. This function will get called. Yeah, clear? Because you see, num states and set temperature is 0, 1, 2. This is the declaration, right? Here I have declared. Sorry, here I have declared. Now if you see 0, 1, 2 set temp, its corresponding function is sorry. Yeah, its corresponding function is set temperature. So this is the function that gets called. Clear so far? So I am setting it to this. I do all these JSON operations. Finally, this is the output. Let me go to main. The function is called and I have done all the operations. Now I am fabricating the response because I have done the task that was asked by me. So the response is, ideally this is hard coded, but in a real application, depending on the error condition, whether I was able to load the value, whether the value was invalid, many checks will come. And the checking of the value, whether it is being valid or not, I could have done it at any stage. But in this case, we are assuming that everything works without any issue. So I'm sending, boss, I'm happy, I'm done with this. Response 200, okay.
Vamsi, this is where I had that question. This itself is the server, like what line number 30, 35?
Line number 30.
Line number 30 to 35.
Uh,
So this part of the code is considered as server because what it is responding.
No. Somebody said to me that do it. For example, if you go and ask a web server that give me the site, give me the value or website when something works. Typically, we see 404 not okay, page not found. So these are 200 okay is a written status saying that I accepted your command and there is no issue that has been found.
But here,
it is a response that the smart thermostat is sending to someone who said that go and set this value.
But
yeah,
but where is the server or I'm running here? Like, what is a HTTP response of response? That is just.
See here, to get this data, I would have received a HTTP command packet. This is just a response packet.
No, but that is you are creating the JSON object, right? You are parsing the JSON when you enter it from the UI and you create this JSON object.
That's what I told it at the beginning. Only I told this is very important for you to catch here. I would have got from somewhere, and I have stripped off all the layers, and I got this data. This is the data that I would have got from some server only.
Oh,
or you can say, see, remove that kind of server and think like master and slave.
Okay.
See, understand that here I deliberately have inserted HTTP. I could have gone with any protocol that would not have changed the scenario. The reason I went with HTTP is that it would give a chance to people to go and read about HTTP, understand that, okay, there is a protocol like this, read its specification, go and explore its code. You replace HTTP with any protocol that transfers data, doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
To honestly speak, to honestly tell you, in this particular scenario, even if I don't use HTTP at all, I can simply transfer JSON payload only here and there. How many of you understand this?
I don't.
Yes, I understand.
This is application data, which is all that value of temperature, all those things.
Yes.
What I am doing is I am putting it in a much more bigger packet and sending it. This I am calling HTTP. Now the reason why I have put HTTP as part of challenge is that you people will go and read HTTP, and HTTP is widely known protocol. Any knowledge you have on protocols like HTTP will be an added advantage in your resume and other places. And because this is IoT, when you say that, okay, I have sent this packet and I did like this, it sounds really credible because you know something about this. If I don't have this also, I could have as well, this is a string, I am doing an UART communication, I could have as well sent these bits outside as is. Clear?
Yes.
That's the only intention.
Right.
So do not get bogged down too much on that. That's it. Once I finalize the HTTP response, it means the response has been constructed now. See, this is what is, I am initializing the response packet. I am setting the status, setting the header, setting the body, then freeing up the JSON buffer, whichever is there. Then I am finalizing the HTTP response. Now I am using user to send data. Now you see it is simply sending the data and sending the body. Then I am freeing up the HTTP response. Whatever memory I have allocated here, right? I am freeing up here. And whatever is the JSON that I have created here, I am freeing up here. Clear? Just that now this UART stuff will not work here. It will definitely crash. That's why I have commented it. But otherwise, if you see the UART driver, it is as per one of the discovery boards. I just got some code on internet. I just converted into the format of a driver that has been described in the book, Programming Embedded Systems in C and C++. In chapter 7, Peripherals, you have a device driver philosophy, and I have written as per that. So this is a struct. Then there should be an initialization routine. Then there should be a routine to receive and send data. And there should be an IRQ handle. And you should actually have certain things like how to set the bits and macros and all those things to set the bit and all those things. You should have well-defined macros, which will flip one bit, reset, all those maskings we talk about, right? You can have those individual macros also, but I did not do that. Now, if you see the driver, it is plain, nothing. So this is UART to base, some buffer size, which is the RX buffer, because once I receive the data, I have to store somewhere. And this is an index to travel through that buffer. Either you send or receive, ultimately an application puts it in, it has to put in some place, TX buffer to be sent. When you receive, you have to store it in a RX buffer, some temporary memory. This is all copied from internet because this is particular to that particular evaluation board. And this is also modified purely from internet. I did not apply any of my mind, just the names of the functions. So whatever is the transmit interrupt and all those things, as it is, I have copied. I still did not even see the data sheet. After this, I will, because Anand is going to put this complete code in his discovery board and he is going to compile in CubeIDE and all those stuff. Just that we don't want to depend on hardware abstraction layer. That's why this is a pure bare metal stuff. Then this is IR, this is the interrupt handler. So initially I thought of writing RX data also, but then I thought, okay, let me handle it within the IRQ only. Ideally, interrupt service handler should not be so huge, because what if I get very huge data? I will be keeping on copying, right? But anyways, because I'm copying on buffer, for every character, interrupt handler will be called. For every interrupt, one character comes, interrupt happens, I put it here. One more character comes, I put it here. And RX index, anyways, it's a static and global. So it will always retain the value, right? I would not be overwriting the data. So I keep on storing in this buffer.
If you want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well-paid job, book a one-on-one call with me. Link is in the description.
So any questions? So even if you remove that, for all the people who said that we did it until JSON data or JSON parser, I highly encourage that you forget about HTTP. Take up your evaluation board, whatever you have, put it on that, compile it and put it on that and see that nothing unusual is happening. How can you trust? How can you test after your JSON data done or something or whatever? You know that the JSON data has been properly parsed or something. Glow an LED. That is possible, right? Connect an LED and say that green LED. Error condition, put a red LED. Blink it once if you know that this is this error. Blink it twice if you think error is different. But for all the positive cases, glow the green LED. Possible? Yeah. So forget about HTTP. You have the JSON data, send it, and the other end it will receive and it will do the things. Now I have done the implementation from the thermostat side, if you understand. Because somebody said to me, change the temperature, I changed it and I have sent the response back. Yeah, it is possible without the evaluation board also. If you have Linux, if you take up Jasmine parser, and I told you in the very beginning only I told, even if you don't have Linux environment, in a single file, put all these things in online GDB, you can get this work done. Remember, I mentioned this. I think I have that online GDB stuff, Jasmine parser already working. Let me check. Because I was teaching one of my mentees from US. That person, he has all university connection systems. So he told he can't install anything. Okay. Okay. Let me share the screen.
If you want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well-paid job, book a one-on-one call with me. Link is in the description.
See, this is the complete JSON code. As it is, I have copied. This is jasmine.h. Sorry. And what did I do? Okay, parse primitive, parse string. Jasmine parse the parent function, and at the end, see, at the end, I copied simple.c. I copied simple.c. I copied the simple.c as it is. If you see, that's why I told you need only two functions, Jasmine init and Jasmine parse. So simple, उसके ऊपर मैंने ये सब डाल दिया, all this header file. Because Jasmine.h gets included twice, I removed it here. Added the stdlib stdio string.h. Now if I run it, C language, run it. See, UID is 1000 and groups are user, wheel, audio, video. And that's what is the JSON string, right? If you go to simple.h, that's the string. See, user. Let me go up. Yeah. User is John Dio. Admin is false. UID is 1000. And users, if you see groups, it's an array. So users, wheel, audio, video. Single file I was able to do, right? The individual files that I showed, actually I can copy it here and do it.
Okay.
Any questions? Amrut, any questions now?
Sir, in place of HTTP, we can also use TCP protocol.
Sorry?
Sir, as you said, in place of HTTP, we can use any protocol. So we can use TCP protocol also.
Why do you want to use complicated things? I'm saying don't use any protocol, send JSON data. Then you instead of sending it on UART, try to send it on I2C. Then you send it on SPI. In that way, you will become familiar with the data sheet. You will be familiar with the thing, and you will see that when you are sending proper data as it is, and you are receiving on the other side, and the other side, you actually parse the JSON data and you show it, you will feel much more excited that, acha, from this side, I'm sending a complete JSON payload, but on the receiving side, I'm actually able to receive the JSON payload. I'm able to read each individual key and value pairs and printing it.
Yeah.
Do
Understood.
it on UART, do it on I2C, do it on anything. Do it on USB also, actually, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sir.
So this will make you comfortable saying with how many of you agree to the fact that, because I have heard it many times, but I want to hear from you. Whenever people think of embedded and going to an interview, they will say protocol, protocol, protocol. How many of you heard that? Sir, I want to understand and learn protocol. Type me in the chat box. You start with embedded and you always say, I want to learn about protocols. I want to learn about protocols. Okay, Aditya says me. Okay, Amrit says yes. See, now you are actually doing it, and you are doing something which is credible, right? Which makes some sense now. You have an application to talk about. If you just say, I know I2C, then they will talk, they will say, where did you use it and all this. Now you have the complete story with you. And yes, depending on your evaluation board, go and look at the data sheet and understand what is the clock and all those stuff. What is the address, everything that is needed for each and every protocol. Now, why is this all possible? Because if you remember that session, it's all.
If you want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well-paid job, book a one-on-one call with me. Link is in the description.
The meaning that we give to those individual bit patterns. Ultimately, everything is bits. It is only the meaning that I give to that individual bit patterns that matters. Yeah. Clear? Any more questions?
Sir.
So by Wednesday, where do you think you all people will be like?
I think, sir, I will be able to complete 70% of work.
Okay. So Chaitanya, I did not see your message. Many ask them as requirements. What do you mean by that? Can you elaborate?
Yeah, that's all those need job openings. They will ask for the requirement of those protocols. That's what I mean.
Yeah, now you have a concrete use case also, right? And you can say that I have implemented on I2C, SPI. For every interview, you change. One
Yeah.
company you say I2C, other company you say SPI, other company you say USB. Story same, dub it in movie is same, dub it in different languages. Yeah. Okay, Aditya, you will be 70% done. So Amrut, what's your?
Yeah, I mean, I'm at sound down, but I just want, I did get a few clarifications on this video, but so let me phrase it this way. When you said in this case HTTP, it was just only the HTTP. You're not relying on any underlying server client mechanism. The whole code which you showed was a thermostat one, which will be running continuously, and it will respond in case it. How is your UI that you'll access it from a terminal something, or that will be a separate code?
Which UI?
For the same, which are your you said the packet you initialized, and that will be this is the part of the server, right? Like all the servers you are basically thermostat whatever is there. You are also it is sending back to itself, or
Okay, see, in this particular application of thermostat, right? I am hard coding that it is set temperature. Ideally, the
after that.
application also will be so big that it will understand what is the command and all those hard working, heavy lifting it has to do. Now, what I am saying is, okay, I am getting set temperature, so directly I am indexing into one of the function pointers and picking it up.
Right. Yeah, that part I'm clear. I'm I'm not able to grasp the concept. But how is it that you are integrating even a HTTP packet within the same thing, and you are also same thing? Why is it not independent?
No, the implementation is different, right? UART protocol is, UART driver is already different.
If you want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well paid job, book a one on one call with me. Link is in the description.
But the whole thing is running on the same.
Yeah, it's the same thread of execution. After the HTTP packet is done, I have to send somehow. So now when I have to send, if there is a kernel user space differentiation, user's kernel space, then I will do some system call, which will go to some file and all those things. Now it's a bare metal programming, right? What is differentiating my driver? My driver is nothing. It's not a special agent. It has no special dealing. It's just another C file. Just that one of the functions there is hardware dependent, which will respond for an interrupt. So I'm doing a direct call saying that you are sent. In other API, in other files and always you will say that I2C read. So it should be something like UART underscore send data. But
So in this case, the send is actually the response, right?
Yeah, I'm sending the response. Yes. Saying
Yes.
that, okay, I have received your command. I processed it. So 200, okay, I'm done. There's no issue.
Okay. Yeah, because until now, this part is what was like I was imagining all these are independent things, like will exist in between, like a middleware separately, where you have to pass it through that. But I did not imagine that to be existing on the same code. Or
I did not get what same code in the sense.
like you will dump the whole thing on one MCU, right?
Yes, because the UART is inside the controller only, right?
Yeah. 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 Now I think that now I'm a little bit clear about that. Yeah.
No, because you are more of an application person, right? So for you,
Yeah, it is. I'm just trying to, from my knowledge, I'm just trying to correlate and as well as like trying to understand how you realize whenever you tell that something is bare metal, what do you like? I keep hearing the terms, but and when I actually okay, so somewhere like that.
yeah, it always happens. Like you are application developer in some, you still haven't reached an area kind of thing wherein even there are domain influences also. Something that people to tell the automotive person, he's an embedded developer only, but the automotive person has an entirely different view of thinking about something what a network person talks about or a medical person.
Right.
Yeah, that's why boiling down to first principles like input, some process, then output. The very, very fundamental of any computer. So from
Right.
there, if you keep on building, right, it will be, you will quickly reach to some conclusion and you will see the middle ground. Oh, here is what is the gray area that I'm thinking like this.
Right.
And then one
Makes sense.
conversation will solve this problem.
Yeah.
Okay. So Chaitanya, Ajay, till what extent you are confident?
Yeah, 80% it will be done.
Okay.
Yeah, still you like you are complete now, it will be 100%.
Chaitanya.
Yeah, I'll try to complete it. In your part, like, is it definitely required to have a board and dump the code?
No, not required. Even I don't have board. I'm giving this complete code to Anand and he is going to test it. We are going to get on a call and try to see then and there some video call where you will be showing on WhatsApp video call also like how the things are happening, and because I don't have that board and I wanted to
Yeah,
order, but it is
If you want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well paid job, book a one on one call with me. Link is in the description.
showing 3 days, 4 days.
I mean, in that case, how we can confirm that it has been sent? It has been sent.
Print.
Okay.
See, do you trust your UART? Do you trust your microcontroller?
Yeah. Like, there can be any hardware problems.
Yeah, there can be hardware problems. But do you trust your microcontroller that if you put it in a register that it will send outside?
Yeah.
And then that is enough, right? Before putting, print it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. That's what I am doing, right? Before sending, you doing UART send, I am printing the packet. So hardware is not needed. If you print there also, it is fine. Your UART send is not needed. If you have it, then it means you took an opportunity and you pushed yourself to write a driver. That's it. And I heard this also. Sir, somehow I have to learn driver programming. Somehow I have to write device driver. I want to write device driver. How many of you resonate with this? Ajay, Shubhankar, Aditya. Yeah, see, you have your protocols are done, your device driver is done, your middleware is done, your application is done, your HTTP protocol is done, your JSON format is done. You have a IoT application. You had everything, but till the last week minus code. But the real juicy part is code only. That when you sit and make it work and do all the things. Okay. So these are uncharted waters, but you have to be that brave sailor.
Yes.
Okay. So I upload this video. So let us see Wednesday. I have just half an hour to tell. So Wednesday we will just review the code, and last day let us have presentation. In case if we are not meeting this Friday, then even Monday also we will not meet. Then next Wednesday only, 8th. But I will I will keep you posted. So we are for sure meeting on 1st. Okay.
Okay.
In case 4th, 3rd looks to be little bit difficult because I'm on a travel. I'm in a travel. I'll be in a travel. Most probably I should be able to reach by 9 to my destination, and I should be checked into hotel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Else I'm be out of town from 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. 7th I'm returning back. So immediately 8th we will have.
Okay.
So you have a lot more time to implement the code. So you need to become keyboard warriors. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay then. See you on Wednesday again. Bye.
Bye, sir.